Welcome students. Welcome again to my another new lecture. I am Muhammad Tanvir Ahmed, lecturer at Department of Civil Engineering, World University of Bangladesh. Outline of the lecture. In our previous lecture, we have learned to calculate the energy content from municipal solid waste. And here in this lecture, we will learn to calculate the density of solid waste. That means estimation of density of solid waste. Also in this lecture, we will learn the details of whole and stationary container system. First, we will perform a math to calculate the density of solid waste. Here is the example. Let's read the question. Estimate the as discounted density. That means we have to calculate the density, and as discounted means density without compaction of a solid waste sample with the following composition. These are the composition of solid waste, and using this composition we have to calculate the density. Here the components food waste have the mass of 15%. Paper comprises mass of 45%, and similarly the other data are represented in this table. This is the standard table to determine the density of solid wastes, and this table is as discarded basis. Here data for components is on an as discarded basis. That means all data represented here are as discarded basis. Here this is the typical density in kg per meter cube. For components of food waste, the density is 120 to 480 in range, and we will use typical value as 290 kg per meter cube. Similarly, for paper, the range of density is 30 to 130 kg per meter cube, and typically we will use 85 kg per meter cube. Similarly, we will use other components. That means the density of other components we will use in similar way. So here these are the single components. First we have to calculate the density of each of the single components, and then we have to calculate the average density. Here this is the solution part, and we will start our solution from here. The data I have said just in my previous slide that you students will have to be provide. That means you don't need to remember the data in shown in previous slide. You will be provided that table to calculate the energy, calculate the density of the waste. From using that table, you will just input the density value here in this table. Let's these are the components of solid waste. This is food waste 15%, and it was given in question. Paper 45%. That means this percent by mass is given in question. I have just picked the typical density value in kg per meter cube from the table. That means from standard table of density. And for food waste, the typical density is 290 kg per meter cube. Paper, the typical density is 85 kg per meter cube. You can see the density table and normally use typical density here for each of the components. And this is the volume. If we, this is the typical density in kg per meter cube, and this is the mass in kg. So if we multiply this 15 and 290, we will get the volume 0.052. Similarly, if we multiply 45 and 85, we will get the volume 0.529. Similarly, we can calculate the other volume, and here if we sum the total volume we will get 1.107, and percent by mass, if we can if we sum this we will get 100 kg. So percent by mass is 100 kg and volume is 1.107 meter cube. We will use these two data while calculation density. We know that density is the mass per unit, mass divided by volume. So here mass will be the sum of this column and mass will be 100. That means m equal to 100 and volume v. If we sum this total, we will get the total volume v equal to 1.107. So remember this, m equal to 100 and volume v equal to 1.107. Now we know density equal to mass divided by volume. Here in previous slide I have showed you that mass m equal to 100 kg and volume v equal to 1.107 meter cube. So dividing this item, dividing 100 with 1.107, we will get density equal to 90.33 kg per meter cube. So this is the simple calculation of density of waste. In this way we can calculate density of any types of solid waste, and this density, you remember, this density is termed as discarded density. Then collection methods on the basis of mode of operation may be broadly categorized into two systems. Collection methods based on mode of operation. These are two types: whole container and stationary container. We have described something about whole and stationary container system in our previous lecture. Now we will describe these two items and also show a symmetric diagram of whole and stationary container system. Also in my also in our next lecture we will perform a math for whole and stationary container system. That means we will calculate the time and number of trips required to serve a specific waste in a specific community. So first, remember about whole container system. Whole container system. In this system, an empty container, which is known as drop-off box, is hauled to the storage site to replace the container that is full of waste, which is then hauled to the processing point, transfer station or disposal site. That means in whole container system, the container is hauled to the transfer or processing station, and to haul this container, the vehicle normally used some specialized vehicles which can carry a large container, and as in this system or in this process, container is hauled directly to the transfer station, so the name is haul container. Stationary container. In this system, containers used for the storage of waste remain at the point of collection. That means as like as haul container system, stationary containers does not haul to the transfer or processing station. Here the container remain at its own position. Only the waste carried from the container and transferred to the processing station. The collection vehicles generally stop alongside the storage containers, and collection crews loads the waste from the storage containers into the collection vehicles and then transport the waste to the processing, transfer or disposal site. So the truck crew normally unloaded the waste from the stationary containers and transport the waste to the transfer or disposal site. Normally containers always remain at its own position in a stationary container system. So these are the basic difference between whole and stationary container system. Another thing, that is in whole container system, normally larger tank or larger size of containers are used. This figure represents the symmetric diagram of whole container system. Here, this is the transfer station, processing station or disposal sites. So waste from every location will be transported here for disposal, and this is the location of container. This is the location of container. This is loaded container and this is empty container. Similarly, these are the location of loaded container, and this is pickup loaded container, and this is deep empty container. Yes, similarly the other two. Here truck will arrive from dispatch station. Truck from dispatch station will come first to this site, take this container and haul to the transfer station. Empty the container in this transfer station. The truck again carry the container to its final location. So this is the whole empty container to original pickup location. This is the whole distance. This is the whole distance to empty the container to original pickup location. Similarly, after completing the total process, that means after carrying the container to the disposal site and return back to its original position, the truck will do the same for another container. Here this is the container number 2, and truck again will come to this point from this point and will pick up this loaded container, again come to the disposal station, empty the container, and again return back to store the container or deposit the empty container in its original position. And similarly the truck will do the same thing for the next steps, and similarly the truck will do n number of steps. That means the truck uh, so this the last number is indicated as n. N represents the number of containers to be served. This number may be 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many the number of trips or the number of containers serves the truck in one day depends on the distance from pickup point to deposit pickup point to the transfer station, and also the working hour of the truck crew or working hour of the solid waste workers. After finishing all tasks completed in a day, the truck will again go to the dispatch station. So that is the end of our today's lecture. Thank you everyone. In our next lecture, we will perform a math on whole container system.